Massive shakeup. India's small car market and insurance sector could soon see dramatic price cuts. The federal government has unveiled a proposal to reduce the goods and services tax, GST, on compact petrol and diesel vehicles from 28% to 18%, while slashing levies on life and health insurance premiums to as low as 5% or even zero. This sweeping reform, the largest since 2017, aims to lower consumer expenses when it takes effect, potentially as early as October, pending approval by the GST Council, which unites state and federal finance ministers. The announcement ignited a surge in Indian stocks. Maruti Suzuki, the country's leading small car manufacturer, soared nearly 9% in a single day, propelling the benchmark Nifty index to its best performance in 3 months, up 1.3%. Rival automakers, including Mahindra, Hero MotoCorp, and Bajaj Auto, also climbed 2 to 4%, while insurers such as ICICI Prudential, SBI Life, and LIC jumped by up to 5% before settling back slightly. But here's where it gets controversial. Critics warn that these deep cuts could strain government coffers and undermine funding for health, education, and infrastructure. Yet supporters counter that by making cars and insurance more affordable, demand will surge, the tax base will expand, and economic growth will ultimately outpace any revenue loss. R.C. Bhargava, Maruti's chairman, hailed the proposal as a huge reform set to welcome a wave of first-time buyers. He pointed out that simplifying the tax framework and opening trade borders will intensify competition, spurring manufacturers to innovate, lower costs, and pass savings on to consumers. Under the new plan, New Delhi would scrap the top 28% GST slab entirely and replace it with just 2 core rates, 5% and 18%. A special 40% levy would apply to luxury goods and so-called sin items like tobacco, ensuring that high-end cars and certain products remain heavily taxed. Officials are still debating additional surcharges to keep total levies on larger vehicles in roughly the current 43 to 50% range. Small cars in India are defined by engine capacity, up to 1200 cc for petrol, 1500 cc for diesel, and a body length under 4 meters. Once making up nearly half of the 4.3 million passenger vehicles sold last year, their share has slipped to about 1/3 as buyers gravitate towards spacious, feature-rich SUVs. Manufacturers such as Hyundai Motor India and Tata Motors stand to gain from the lower GST, while Maruti models like the Alto, Dzire, and WagonR could reclaim market share. At the same time, cutting insurance premiums GST from 18 to 5% or even zero aims to address India's low insurance penetration, which stood at just 3.8% of GDP in 2024. By making policies more accessible, this landmark overhaul not only reshapes the auto and insurance industries, but also raises fundamental questions. Will the government absorb the revenue hit or offset it elsewhere? Could this be a strategic play ahead of elections, or a genuine blueprint for sustainable growth? And this is the part most people miss. How will public finances balance when consumption jumps? What do you think? Will these GST cuts deliver on their promise, or are we witnessing a political gambit that risks future budgets? Share your thoughts below.